Been doing a series on a marketplace pioneer, and there are a series of videos and articles that I want to just throw out there for discussion and understanding. And today I want to go through one of the ones that I've managed to establish called Digital Frontiers, Spiritual Pioneering in Technology. What if the most important voices in shaping our technological future are not technologists, but spiritual pioneers? You know that artificial intelligence has come to a point where it's making moral decisions, just like human beings. Social media is reshaping human connections. Virtual reality is blurring physical boundaries. And then, because of this, at least these three things, we are being faced with ethical questions that are very important and urgent that we need to answer to. There is a computer scientist and virtual reality pioneer called Jaron Lanier. And he gave us a warning, and the warning was actually technology is as biased as the people who create it. Technology is as biased as the people who create it. So today, I want us to explore why the digital frontier needs spiritual pioneers who can bring biblical wisdom to the most powerful tools of humanity. So welcome as I explore spiritual pioneering in the digital realm. My name actually is David Paul Mawie of the School of David, and I want to examine how faith-informed innovation is becoming increasingly crucial in technology development. So there's a study done by Pew Research, and the study found that 79% of Americans express concern about ethical implications of artificial intelligence, yet only 12% of technological companies have established formal ethics frameworks. So you can see the disparity there. About 80% of people complaining, but only 12% of technology companies have established a formal ethics frameworks. If you look at George Banner, nearly on the same world, he says only 3% of leaders feel equipped to guide their communities through technological disruption. Only 3%. And this gap can represent both a crisis and an opportunity for spiritual pioneers who can bridge technological expertise with biblical wisdom. And we shall see some remarkable leaders who have had the courage to jump into this field and do that exactly. Let's just go back into some history. We see what has happened as far as the church is concerned. The church relationship with technology. So the relationship between faith and technology has some deep roots from the medieval monasteries who were preserving and advancing knowledge to Gutenberg's revolutionary printing press, making scripture widely available. And we have had things like the early era, which saw Christians' engagement in technology in the 1994, especially when the first church websites were appeared. I remember personally, I might not have been in North America, but my first blog, I think, or website was around 1998, 1999. We were not able to afford .coms then in Nairobi. We were only doing subdomains. And the church clearly was at the forefront of embracing technology at that particular point. But as technology accelerated, many faith communities shifted from pioneering to reacting. But if you look at the parallel between that and the 20th century, especially the early 20th century film world, when film emerged as a powerful medium, Christianity largely responded to film with suspicion and withdrawal. But two people, at least I know, C.S. Lewis and J.R.R. Tolkien, recognized the power of imagination and narrative, pioneering approaches that would ultimately influence filmmaking itself decades later. Today's technological revolution presents a similar inflection point. So the question to ask is, will spiritual communities merely consume and react to technologies designed without their input, or will they help shape these tools from their inception? So the World Economic Forum has reported that 2025, which is this year, we will spend at least 50% of our working hours in the digital environments. Andy Crouch, a theologian who wrote a book called TechWise, notes that technology is not just something we use, but increasingly a place where we live. Technology is not just something we use, but increasingly a place where we live. So this reality makes spiritual pioneering in the digital realm not optional, but essential. So today's technological landscape presents unprecedented challenges and opportunities that call for spiritual wisdom. Number one, first of all, artificial intelligence is increasingly making ethical decisions that were once exclusively for human beings. So the Stanford University in 2023, the AI Index reports that 92% of large companies now deploy AI in their operations, affecting everything from hiring to resource allocation to content moderation. Entrepreneur and AI ethics advocate, a lady by the name of Patricia Jojo, motivated by her Christian faith, co-founded something called Principled AI. Notice that she was a Christian, so these are some of the people who have been in the forefront. So she founded something called Principled AI, which has developed frameworks for embedding ethical guidelines in AI systems. So she worked with Microsoft and helped shape the company's responsible AI principles. So as Jojo explains, and she says AI will inevitably reflect someone's values. The question is, whose values will shape the tools billions of people use daily? Let's go to social media. Social media has fundamentally altered human connection and communication. Now, IG or Instagram reports an average user spends at least 53 minutes daily. That's an average user. While TikTok reports an average user uses about 93 minutes every day on that platform. These platforms are not neutral tools, but actively shape attention, relationship, and even neurological development. So there's a man called Justin Bailey, founder of the Attention Project, another pioneer again. He has pioneered a digital discipleship program now used by over 300 churches. So Bailey's approach does not demonize technology, but instead applies biblical wisdom about presence, Sabbath, and community to digital contexts. So his research shows participants experience a 64% increase in reported life satisfaction after completing his 8-week program. And he states that the question isn't whether we use technology, but whether we use it in ways that form us in the image of Christ or something else. So are we using technology in the ways that form us in the image of Christ or form us as something else? Thirdly, we have now what you call the virtual and augmented reality. Meta has invested more than 36 billion in the metaverse. Apple has done so with Apple Vision Pro, signaling and putting this technology into the mainstream public by introducing gizmos or gadgets like phones and watches and spectacles, for that matter, to gather and collect and deliver experiences to people. There's something called the Digital Cathedral Project by Dr. Sarah Sumner. She is creating experiences that bring ancient spiritual practices into virtual environments. So they have used something called Prayer Labyrinth as a VR, and they have used it to over 20,000 people. So many people have been reporting deeper engagement than physical experiences. Sumner says, and she explains, we are not replacing physical community, but creating additional access points to spiritual formation that meet people where they increasingly are. And then the fourth, data ethics and digital justice are emerging as crucial domains. A 2023 Oxford Internet Institute study found that algorithmic systems consistently disadvantage vulnerable populations, creating what we call digital redlining effects, which are similar to historical discrimination. I have a newsletter on a particular platform which I'll not mention here. And sometimes when I want to log in, when I want to access particular things that are put on that platform, I'll be told it's not available. It's not available. In fact, there's some things I've not been able to access. I have been experiencing digital redlining because of my geography, if you could say so. So the most effective spiritual pioneers in technology demonstrate three key characteristics. Number one, they participate rather than just critique. They bring substantive technological expertise alongside theological depth, and they focus on constructive alternatives rather than fear-based warnings. So going forwards, several emerging trends highlight why spiritual pioneering in technology will become increasingly vital. For example, the line between human and machine intelligence is really blurring. We have Neuralink that has begun human trials on brain-computer interfaces, while AI systems like Cloud and GPT-4 demonstrates increasing human-like capabilities. These developments raise profound questions about what makes humans unique and how we understand being created in God's image. Those are questions we're having to revisit. So there's a theologian and computer scientist by the name of Dr. Jason Thacker. He established something called Digital Technology Project, bringing together technologists and theologians to develop frameworks for technological development and preserve human dignity. The recent work with healthcare AI developers has established guidelines for maintaining the doctor-patient relationship as AI becomes more integrated in diagnostics and treatment. So the digital divide issues are intensifying. The World Bank reports that while 63% of global population has internet access, adoption rates may vary dramatically by region and socioeconomic status. As essential services move online, this creates what we call urgent justice concerns. You might have heard of transhumanism. This is gaining mainstream traction with venture capital investments in human enhancement technologies exceeding 4.5 billion investments in 2023. So these technologies promise to augment human capabilities by raising profound questions about limits, equity, and meaning of humanity in the first place. So these trends create what an ethicist, Shannon Vala, calls technomoral questions. Technomoral questions. Technomoral questions challenges the simultaneously technical and ethical, requiring both technological understanding and moral wisdom. There's a theologian by the name Kate Ott, who says the most important technological questions of our time are not technical questions at all, but questions about what it means to be human, to live in community, and to reflect the image of God. So, what are the takeaways from all this? For those called to be spiritual pioneers in technology, number one, we have to become bilingual. We have to develop bilingual capabilities in both technological and theological domains. The most effective voices can speak credibly in both contexts. We must be able to train people, even the younger ones, to be able to speak fluently in the bilingual context of technology and theology in the first place. Number two, we have to create models rather than just critique existing ones. As entrepreneur and faith leader D.J. Soto notes that criticism without creation leaves the field to others. And then thirdly, we have to form interdisciplinary communities that connect technologists, theologians, and ethicists and users. There's something called the Tech and Soul Network, which has established at least 19 such communities across major tech hubs globally. And then we also have to engage early in technological development rather than responding after technologies are established. Microsoft has something called Faith and Technology Network, which demonstrates how spiritual perspectives can influence product development from inception. And then lastly, we have to focus on theological formation alongside technical education. Singapore Faith and Technology Institute. I wanted to say African Faith and Technology Institute. I think we need to create one like that. So Singapore's Faith and Technology Institute has developed curriculum which is now used in 47 computer science programs globally. I think we need to have an African's Faith and Technology Institute being established very soon. Okay. Just to conclude, AI researcher and Christian ethicist Dr. Emily Smith powerfully states, and I'll go through this very slowly. The greatest risk isn't that we'll create technology that surpasses humanity, but that we'll create technology that diminishes what makes us human in the first place. Spiritual pioneers have a crucial role in ensuring technology serves human flourishing rather than reducing humanity to what can be quantified. Humanity should not be reduced to what could be quantified. So that is Dr. Emily Smith. You need to check her out. So the digital frontier isn't just reshaping our tools, but our understanding of reality, community, and even humanity itself. Spiritual pioneers who can bring biblical wisdom into these spaces aren't just adding religious perspectives to technological development. They are helping ensure these powerful tools serve truly human ends. So join me next time as we explore pioneering in education, examining how faith-informed innovation is reimagining learning for a rapidly changing world. I am DP Mavia of the School of David. Check out our website, www.theschoolofdavid.com, and you shall find more articles and ideas which we have explored to empower and encourage the marketplace pioneer to be rightfully and strategically positioned to represent Jesus in these spaces. See you next time, and God bless you so much.